Hello, hello, hello. I have to make this video before we are going back to the other house. I am absolutely sad and heartbroken over the situation in the whole world, on this planet, and maybe beyond, who knows. Uh, on the moon, whoever is there already, but most humans, the vast majority of humans, are corruptible, potentially corrupt, right? So and with that kind of psychology, with those brains, with those mind states, they will cave into any kind of pressure. They will give into bribes. They will shut their mouths. They will hold the other cheek, they will look the other way, they will turn their backs on justice, and so on and on and on and on and on and on. So here's what happened to me today. I go on the internet, I'm signing animal rights petitions. I always post them on Twitter and Facebook. I posted it on Twitter, and as soon as I posted it on Facebook first, then I got to Twitter, and as soon as I got to Twitter, and I'm opening that page where I am posting the link to my petition, the automatic Twitter posting from the animal rights website. A page comes up and says, your account has been removed, has been suspended, deleted. Okay. And I go to my other email address and signing from there, and it said the same thing for both accounts, for both of my Twitter accounts. So the only explanation I have for this now is, oh yeah, and it said it's suspended because I violated the rules of conduct or whatever on the Twitter website. And the only thing I do on Twitter is really animal rights activism, political activism, voicing my views, voicing that what I know to be true. Okay. Last night I got angry, and I am owning up to that mistake. I was very angry. I felt very despaired. And I wrote something that was obviously not very peaceful, according to what's been going on. Volodymyr Zelensky has, together with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and many other players behind the scenes, as I already mentioned, they have created this war. Okay. Vladimir Putin was never interested in this war. He was always for peace. He has always spoken out to make peace, to solve these problems, and to get into discussions and so on. Then Kamala Harris was sent there. Vladimir Putin reported back that any kind of negotiation effort to move towards peace, she warded off. She was not interested. She just shut people off. Okay, that was a while back. Just shut people off. Would not discuss. She came there for supposed peace talks, but she was not interested in any of these subjects. Obviously, she was already programmed to do this by the corporate agenda. Okay, kind of like a robot almost. So, and nobody got their word out there. Everyone who was there, Vladimir Putin and other people that wanted to speak out and say, give their views on how they can move forward in the peace negotiations, to create peace, to figure out a way to do it. She just blocked all of that off in that conversation. So they never even got to do any of these peace talks. And Volodymyr Zelensky and all of his executioners that work for his dictatorship, they blocked any kind of effort for peace negotiations off. They called Elon Musk, they said the F word, I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. When Elon Musk is trying to save this planet from a world war, and Donald Trump has done everything in his 4 years, constantly peace talks, constantly peace negotiations with everyone who was bombarding him from around the world, who was making threats, Kim Jong-un. Donald Trump took the enormous courage to go there. I would never have the courage to go there. And Barack Obama completely ignored the situation with Kim Jong-un. And Barack Obama completely turned his back on a US American, his name was Otto, who was tortured in North Korea for 1 year. Barack Obama turned his back on him. And most likely because Otto was white, Makes me infinitely sad. These things are not. You don't get this from the mainstream news, The way you find the way you find the truth, if at all, and only bits and pieces of that, what I hear through Paul, what he sees on Google News, like from very small news broadcasters, like some of them are somewhere very obscured and somewhere hidden in rural areas in the United States, or in rural areas in Asia, China, and Japan, where we get the actual information. You don't get the actual information from CNN or those other mega news channels. You don't get any accurate information. You get no information at best, and complete slander and complete falseness of information, complete anti-information. You get complete lies told to you, from those complete lies. And they have no problem with that. The corporate agenda worldwide is paving the way for all of them. They're all helping each other do the corporate hand washing. Everyone gets bribed. Everyone has their back up here and there, as long as they go along with the corporate agenda. So people get let out of prison. It's like the mafia has turned from the underground all the way up to in plain sight. That's what's going on. The corporate agenda is the mafia. The mafia is the corporate agenda. They work hand in hand. It's one and the same machine, one and the same mechanism. It's the same energetic field. This is what's happening. It's based on greed, corruptibility, corruption of the worst type, murder, mass murder. Zelensky has thousands of corpses in his cellar. So that's why I said on Twitter, when I read Elon Musk's tweets, which are obviously where he has to really hold back, because if he doesn't hold back, if he says what he really wants to say, which is, the truth, what it really is, that Zelensky is an international war criminal, okay, then they would all get him off Twitter very, very quickly, and there would be no way. He has to be as diplomatic as he possibly can. And so I'm not holding it against him, of course, but it makes me furious when I see that people have to censor themselves before they can write anything. What a world this has come to. This really makes me mad. This makes me so incredibly mad. I'm not even going to say how mad and how that messes with my brain. Okay. Makes me very, very, very mad. I want to scream in all of these corrupt murderers' faces, Zelensky and Biden and Harris and all of those players behind the scenes. I want to scream into their faces. I want my Medusa to scream into their faces. So I really want to punch them, but I know that I can't, So I really wonder, when I go about my day, I have to function in my life. I feel like, how can I function with that kind of anger when I see that kind of corruption? And I should already know the human ape. The vast majority of humans are unbelievably corrupt. Okay. And it's becoming more and more, the situation becoming more and more like mafia corruption. Okay, like South America, like the equator, all the way around the globe. In South America, anyone who even politically runs against a corrupt corporatist is being murdered. So are we heading in that direction? No. That's my question. Wake up to the truth. Pay attention. Don't watch the mega news outlets anymore. They tell you complete lies. So it's because I said on Twitter that because it made me so mad that everyone has to censor themselves so that they don't get kicked out of Twitter. It's some kind of like a real disgusting compromise to make in order to get a breadcrumb of activism out there. Okay. We can't say what we want to say. This is total dictatorship. This is corporate dictatorship. This is total censorship. This is equal to the Nazi regime and worse. They torture people. They torture political opponents. They use any cruel thing they can that just lets them slither past the law, or that lets them just barely get past by our legal system. And they are working on the legal system to completely strip away our physical protection that the founding fathers had created for us. Okay, Barack Obama has stripped a lot of our physical and psychological protection away from the constitutional rights. systematically. And this started with George W. Bush, and it kept on going. Okay. George W. Bush then passed on to Barack Obama, who had widened it even more. It's kind of like it starts as a little loophole, and then people just keep tearing on it and widening the loopholes and removing our freedom of speech, removing our rights to use words, even, with the copyright infringement laws. And on top of all of that, taking away parts of the Constitution that really served as a that used to serve as a solid foundation to prevent laws like ETA from coming into the world, Animal Enterprises Terrorism Act, which Barack Obama created. Okay. Or I don't know, I don't know. I think Bush created it in his last year, and then Barack Obama made it even wider, where any political opponent, any activist could be arrested without a trial and put into a FEMA prison camp. This already happened to a guy who was given permission to speak about the fur farm industry, the utmost cruelty of the fur farm industry, where they don't even give the animals a narcotic just to save money, right? Torturing, peeling the skin of the animals alive without anesthesia even. They weren't even killed. They weren't even knocked out of consciousness. So this guy wanted to talk about it. And he found someone who was willing to let him talk. And the day before, he was able to come onto that radio show that was somewhere in the United States, a radio show, some kind of even rather local even. But then the corporate agenda knows once it's on the local, it will spread, and pretty soon larger radio channels will talk about it. So in order to prevent him from speaking, they raided his house, they took all of his computers, and they put him for half a year without any trial into an Arizona prison camp. And that was during the Barack Obama administration. Okay, then Trump got in and fixed a whole lot of things, repaired a whole lot of things, a whole lot. Okay, things got better, everything started to get a relief. Then Biden got in fraudulently and reversed everything good that Donald Trump had done, reversed it everything back to Bush and Obama, and even worse. And this is what we get when the majority of humans have their price, as Rockefeller said. That's when everyone is just interested in their quick money, and the heck with justice. Quick money, they want their quick money, and they don't care if it's on cost of innocent living beings. Okay. So I got so mad on Twitter. I said Volodymyr Zelensky should be droned. Okay. And that's why they censored me. Okay. So let's rewind back this entire thing back to like half a year ago or something. It was about half a year ago on Twitter when I saw the actor Xander Berkeley, fairly famous actor, in Hollywood, real corporate guy. Okay. I saw Xander Berkeley writing on Twitter that he wants Donald Trump to be tortured. I wrote back and I said, "You are for torture?" No response back to me. But he had written back to me previously only to mock me and slander me in a real juvenile teenage type of way. Real dishonest guy, real despicable, disgusting person. Okay. So I reported that, what he wrote, and nothing happened to Xander Berkeley. He is celebrated as ever. Okay. I finally blocked Xander Berkeley and many other people that are saying horrific things against Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I have to turn this internet off for now. I don't want the radiation. Okay, so why is that freezing up now? Okay, I have this on my lap right now. I only have this cooler bag under me, so it has a bit of some kind of like a metal plastic as a shield from radiation, but yeah, I always try to prevent as much radiation as the tin hatter that I am. Okay, so, and you should too. But anyway, what's going on is pretty sad. Okay. People who are writing horrific things against Donald Trump, even one saying violent stuff like Xander Berkeley, they stay on Twitter. Nothing happens to them. Okay. Muslims who are waging their war against non-Muslims, they stay on Twitter. Okay. They can say whatever they want to say, you know. They can tell me, "I'm going to behead you." They stay on Twitter. Okay. But if someone, an activist, who cares, comes there and says the truth, you know, that Zelensky is an international war criminal and he is the one that should be droned. I didn't even make a threat. I didn't even say, I am threatening Zelensky, or I am coming after Zelensky with my iron club or something. No, I am at the West Coast in the United States, and Zelensky is in Eastern Europe, in the Ukraine, very far away from me. And even if I was in Germany visiting my parents, I would make sure to stay as far away from Zelensky as I can. Because I'm terrified of those people. Those are very, very hardened criminals, psychopaths and sociopaths. Zelensky has created this war. They have manufactured, I don't even really have the word for this. They have fabricated this whole entire situation without any reason, without anything that would back them up in any way. They created this from scratch. And all of the information that comes across, most of the information that comes across to us from the Ukraine has been completely falsified. Anything like Russians invading their nuclear power station is all false. Completely false. Okay. The Russian government, Vladimir Putin, the Russian military, they do not want to invade anywhere. They don't want these problems. So, and then they lied again, and they said that Russian soldiers raped the women from the Ukraine. I don't believe a thing they say. Okay. This is all war propaganda. This is war propaganda that only feeds a handful of corporatists, that feeds their bank accounts. That's all it does. Okay. And it just causes horror and suffering. I believe that Zelensky and the Ukrainian military, backed up by the United States government and the United States military, anyone in the United States military who pitches into this fabricated, wrongful war that's happening there is also responsible for suffering and death that is happening there by the thousands. Okay. You are responsible for that if you give into this. Let's say I was in the US military, whether, Navy SEALs or regular soldier or whatever, which I never would be in the first place because I'm against war. But just hypothetically, if I was there right now and I find out and I do my research and I find out what's actually going on, I would make a conscientious objection to it, and I would say, I'm sorry, I cannot support something this horrific. Okay, I will not support drilling in Afghanistan for the oil industry on cost of innocent lives. I will not be, in the same sense, I will not have anything to do with the Ukraine that has created this war. And then the United States backing them up and giving them weapons and helping them with drones, with fighter drones, actually. They have killed innocent people. They have killed innocent people from the Russian military. I'm sure they are definitely after Vladimir Putin. They have already threatened Elon Musk. But in disguise, they disguise themselves as a Russian military person, official. Okay, this is how corrupt this whole thing is. Okay, just wanted to set the facts straight here, because I don't think people are I don't think people have the faintest idea on what's happening here right now. So I have to. What's going on? Yes, I have to wrap the video up now. We have to get going. So, but I think this was important that I said this. Okay. We have total censorship, total dictatorship now from the corporate agenda. And even me talking about this is kind of like they rub their hands together. They laugh about this. They think, oh, great. Now, another activist basically falling into their pitfall, falling into that what they actually want to achieve. Me saying I got banned from Twitter for saying that, it's basically setting an example, telling other people, you better not do activism. You better not say anything. You better tape your mouth shut, which is really the opposite of what I want to achieve with this video. But I'm not gonna, I know that this is probably the result of it, that people will shut up rather than get alarmed and start to speak out even more, bounce back even more. That's only courageous people do this. The vast majority of humans are not courageous, unfortunately. The vast majority of humans will see a video like this and say, oh, I better never say anything about this. I better go into some kind of total denial, right? It's easier to live with that. But I am not that kind of person who will be silenced like this. I can't be silenced in this way. Although I know what probably the result of this video might be, that it will just have the opposite effect of what I want to achieve. Will actually scare people into speaking out because they don't want to lose their Twitter account. But I cannot be silenced. I have to talk about this. We need to talk about the entire thing. Everything needs to come to the surface, okay? Or we can't heal this, okay? If we want to heal the world, if we want to even try to heal the world, we have to talk about it all. Every single thing, okay? Don't leave anything untouched, okay? Talk about it, bring it out to the surface. Bring it out, pack it on the table. Put your cards on the table, That's all I can say. If we want to make the world a better place, we have to speak out. If you see a crime happening, Albert Einstein talked about it. If you see a crime happening, you turn your back on that crime and on the victim, then you are accountable, equally accountable for that crime happening. Okay. And the reason why he said it, because he said it during the Nazi regime. Because he saw what was happening, how people were silenced and how people were turning their backs on innocent victims. He saw what that does. That escalates a dictatorship. And we're seeing it again. The entire thing again, the entire Nazi fucking regime happening again. Okay. This time with a different outfit. Okay. With different folks. The same story, the exact same thing. Okay. No difference, no different. If you cater to the corporate agenda and the Muslim agenda, which is used by the corporate agenda, okay, if you cater to that, you are a Nazi. You are no different to a Nazi during Nazi Germany. Okay. My parents have been through all of this. My parents and their whole families were complete pushovers. That's why they survived. In order to give birth to someone who's not a pushover. But those are rare, those people, unfortunately. And it makes me incredibly mad, all of this. It makes me mad to see people being pushovers. Makes me real mad. And if I would say, oh no, I'm practicing Buddhism and meditation, and from the wider perspective, from the sky perspective, I understand, and blah, blah, blah. No, I sit here on this chair, not up in the sky. And I'm not some guru or Buddha. Okay. I am not. I have a Medusa. My Medusa is very watchful, okay, in regards to justice, and I get mad. I get mad as hell, okay? And in order to not become completely crazy, I have to talk about these things. I have to pack this out to the surface, okay? Anyway, have a good one.